Sorry.
Then he doesn't understand any single. You're gonna have to translate.
ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මැච් එක අපි ටීවී එකේ බැලුව නිසානේ තරහ එන්නේ. දැන් අපි දැන් ටීවී බැලුවේ නෑනේ. අපි මැච් එක බැලුවේ නෑ. අපි බැලුවේ නෑ. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොමලා බැලුවා මැච් එක. අපි බැලුවේ නෑ. දැන් අපිට බෝරිස් නෑනේ. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන් බලපු ගමන් ඔක්කොම තරහ.
The nun said was that because we watch the match, we have a greater degree of frustration and anger as opposed to those that did not watch the match. එහෙමත් කියලා දැන්
ඒක
අපේ රට සෙල්ලම් කරනවා නම් එතන බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියෙනවනේ ඒක.
ඉතින් හරි මේකයි. දෙගොල්ලටම දිනන්න බෑනේ. කෝරර් එක පැත්තක් පැරදින්න ඕනේ. දෙකම දිනන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක අපි තේරුම් ගන්න. කෝරර් එක පැත්තක් පැරදින්න ඕනේ. එහෙමනේ.
According to the game dynamics, there has to be a winner and a loser. So
ඉතින් අපි බලන්නේ ඉන්නේ ලංකාව දිනන එක. කොහමද? ලංකාව දිනන එක. පුලිසෙන් නෑ. හොඳයි. පුලිසෙන්. නෑ. තව භාවනාව ඉවරයි. දැන් කතා කරමු. හොඳයි. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ බලන් ඉන්නේ ලංකාව දිනනකම්. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ හිතේ තියෙන ලංකාව දිනන්න ඕනි කියලා. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලන් හැම වෙලාවෙම මේ අල්ලගෙන ඉන්නේ තණ්හාව, ක්‍රේවිං අල්ලගෙන ඉන්නවානේ. දැන් අරගොල්ලෝ පරාදි වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඕගොල්ලන් ඇඟි තරහ වෙලා ඉන්නේ ඇතුලේ තරහ තියෙනවා. එතකොට දැන් ඒගොල්ලන් දිනනකොට ලංකාවත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලෝ තරහ වෙනවා. හරිද? අරගොල්ලත් එක්ක දැක්කද කොහොමද? ඒගොල්ලන් දින්නා මේගොල්ලන් සෙල්ලම් කිරුවේ නෑ හොඳට කිවි. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොමලම අල්ල ගන්නවා. let's go කරන්නේ නෑනේ දැන්. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොමල ඇතුලේ අල්ලගෙන තියනවා.
When you're watching the match, it's also we have an expectation. There is a preliminary expectation we're going to win.
Yeah.
And there's that this sense of excitement, you know, and adrenaline and all that comes in, and then sort of amount when you see the side lose, all the expectations, all the cravings, and well, they just subside. Well, they don't subside. They just got nowhere to go. We become elated for nothing, so to speak, and that's where all the frustration comes from. It's sort of we build the expectation. There is an assumption that we will win, and then otherwise, that's where the frustration comes from. Not being able to vent those expectations.
එතකොට අපි ඒක උපේක්ෂාවෙන් බලනවා නම් කමක් නෑ. කවුරු හරි වින් කෙරුවොත් කමක් නෑ කියලා අපි හිතියොත් ඇඟ්‍රි නෑ.
Yeah, if we
ඒ මම මගේ අපේ කියන ඉන්න තමයි අපිට එහෙම වෙන්නේ නේ. මම මගේ අපේ කියන.
බන්.
ඒ හැටි බලන්න. බණි වගේ නේ. හාවෙක් වගේ නෑ නේද?
හාවෙක්.
ඒ වුණාට මේ කන
ඔව්.
වැටිලා. යා මේකේ කසන මෙතන. මෙතන එන්න. තාක්කි දානවද?
It's toilet train to go in the little box.
මෙතන එයාගේ පොඩි මේක තුවාලයක් තියෙන චුට්ටක් මෙතන කටේ ඔව් තියෙනවා. එයා අරකේ දාලා උතුල්ලනවා. හරි. කසන. Very old.
මේ වගේ නේ.
කසනා නේද? මෙතන.
ලෙව කන්න. හරියට පුස්.
අර මෙතන මෙහෙම කරනවා. හරි. ඒකේ කසන.
It's scratching itself. I think there's a
අන්න
That's great.
කක්කිත් දැම්ම.
So much for the toilet study.
Should I get? Should I take it out?
I just say you should take it out of the room. It's left a couple of.
You're right.
නේ
He has come.
මේ එයාගේ මෙතන මේකේ කසනවා මේ කක්කට තුවාල කරගන්න. මේ කක්කිත් දැම්ම මෙතන.
ඇඟට දැම්මේ නෑනේ. යා විතර එනවා අපි ඒව දැන් අර කට්ටිය ආපු නිසා ඔතෙන් මොකක්ද? හා යා.
නිමල් මට තෙන්න ඉතින්.
ආයෙනවා මෙන්න.
Well, that's pretty, like, not, like, if it was a dog, it'd be a lot more messier.
like කවුරුනද? like rat game එක.
It's not easy to tell.
නෑ නෑ මීයාගේ.
Guinea
Jadi
pig
ලොකු
active
මෙච්චර.
man.
Yeah, rabbit always they eating green.
Oh. It's,
දැන් මොකද අහන්න තියෙන්නේ?
Well, not just with the match, but like, what if you work really hard for something and then you just keep failing and it's like the frustration just gets too much?
again,
Not just in the cricket.
cricket එක විතරම නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ
ඕන එකක්.
ඕන එකක්
ඔව්.
හරියට වැඩි කරොත් ඒක හැටියට හරියට වැඩි කරොත්
ඔව්.
හැබැයි ඒකේ how do you say fail in Sinhala?
Yes, you know, yeah.
ඔව් ඒ ඔක්කොම කරලා ඒකෙන් මොනවා හරි
බලාපොරොත්තුවක්.
ඔව් මොකක් හරි ආවෙත් නැත්නම් ඒ කියන්නේ
ආවේ නැත්තම් තරහයි.
ඔව්
ඉතින් ඒක හරි. ඉතින් අපිට එහෙම වෙලා බෑ. මේ ලෝකේ හැම වෙලාවෙම තරහ වෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ. අපිට ඒක උනේ නෑ කියලා අපි තරහ වෙන්න වැඩක් නෑ. ඉතින් අපි එතකොට වැඩෙත් කරනවා. අපි ස්ට්‍රෙස් එකකුත් ගන්නවානේ.
තරහ නෙමෙයි ඒ කියන්නේ ඇති වෙලා කියන්නේ කරලා පාර දෙනවා ඔක්කොම කරලා හැටියට ඒක
How do you say disappointment?
Oh.
And a waste.
yeah
In Sinhalese?
How do you say waste in Sinhalese? Like all that effort was for.
ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට නැති වුණා කියලා.
ඔව්
ඉතින්
අපි
මේකයි
නැති
වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ ඉතින් දැන් තනියෙන් කරනවා නම් අපි තනියම කරනවා නම් අපිට ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් හරියට. දැන් මෙතන දෙකට දෙකක් නේ එකතු වෙන්නේ. කොහේ හරි දෙපැත්තක් නේ එකතු වෙන්නේ. ඒක කොහොම හරි ඒකේ තියෙනවා කොයි පැත්තෙන් හරි එක පැත්තකට ඒ වෙලාවේ හැටියට ඒක දිනන්න තියෙනවානේ. නැත්නම් වැඩ අපි දැන් යම් දෙයක් මොන හරි අපි වැඩක් මොන හරි කරලා එක්සෑම් එකක් කියමුකෝ. එක්සෑම් එකක් අපි පාස් වෙන්න වැඩ කරගෙන යනවා. අපි හොඳට ස්ටඩි කරනවා. අපි හොඳට පාඩම් කරනවා. අපි ඔක්කොම කරලා ඉවරනොත් එක්සෑම් එකේදී අපි ෆේල් වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි එක්සෑම් එකේදී ෆේල් වෙනවා. එතකොට දැන් මොකද? එතකොට එක්සෑම් එකේ ෆේල් වෙන්නේ අපි කියනවා හොඳට අපි පාඩම් කරා. අපි හොඳට පාඩම් කරුවා කියලා. ඒ පාඩම් කරුවා වුණත් අපි ඒ ලියන වෙලාවේදී හරියට ඒක ලියලා නැහනේ. ඒක නිසානේ ෆේල් වුනේ. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා අපි ඒකට මේ තරහ වෙලා වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒකට අපි හිතනවා මං ඊළඟ සැරේ ඒක උනන්දු වෙනවා. උනන්දු වෙලා ඒක කරනවා කියලා ඒ විදිහට උනන්දු වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැතුව තරහ වෙලා වැඩක් නැහැ. ඉතින් තරහ වුණේ කායිකද? මයින්ඩ් එකත් එක්කනේ. තරහ වුණේ කාත් එක්කද?
Can you, like, how do you say, like, how do you deal with, like week as you fail, you keep feeling inadequate or not good enough?
I'll just translate this first.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Did everyone get that? Or I'll try. What the man was talking about? If you fail, if you fail an exam, and no matter like you studied so hard and you failed the exam, there's no point getting angry, really, because you have no one to blame. It's not like saying you can't do it or anything, but yeah, it's just futile just to get angry about it. I guess just look at the next one or something.
But, like, can,
Did you want
No,
to?
no, you say it.
like sometimes, like, the result of failing, well, I'm just talking from my personal experience. Sometimes I feel that, like, I'm just not good enough or there's, like, something wrong with me.
It can be.
There's nothing wrong with me, right?
It can be what? Then, like the exam or something.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Just any
Just
task you work so
anything.
hard for,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't work out the way you thought you would, despite all
And
the
you're
effort.
Put
trying
in
like
like
this, you know.
110%.
එතන ලක් එක තියෙන්නත් ඕනේ නේ. වෙලාවෙ. අපිට ලක් එකක් තියෙන්නත් ඕනේ නේ.
ඔව්.
කිව්වට බෑ. try කරනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කොච්චර try කරුවත් ලක් එක නැහැ.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක try කරලා ඒකවල
ඔව් ඉතින් අපි try කරුවා අපිට ඒකම ලක් එකක් නැහැ කියලා. ඉතින් දුක් වෙලා ඇයි sad එකේ? ඇයි දුක් වෙන්නේ? ඇයි දුක් වෙන්නේ? දුකින් ඕනේ නැහැ.
ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ හරියට දුක් වෙලා එතකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කියනවානේ අපිට අපි කරන්න බෑ කියලා
අපි මෙහෙම එකක් කියමු දැන් මේක ළඟ මේක තේරෙන්නේ. දැන් එක ලේඩි කෙනෙක් ආවා. එයාගේ daughter 2.5 year. ඒ daughter මේ ඇස්මා ආවිලා. ගොඩක් ඇස්මා. දැන් හුස්ම ගන්න බෑ. ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලන් ඉන්හේල් එකක් ඉතින් බබාට බෑනේ ගන්න. බබාට බෑනේ. ඉතින් මේගොල්ලන් කොහොම හරි එක දීලා බේත් දීලා උනාට දැන් දුව හරියටම tired and හුඟක්ම යසික් ඊට පස්සේ mother එයා අම්මා inside හැම වෙලාවෙම feeling oh මගේ daughter sick අයියෝ කියලා දුක් වෙනවා හැම වෙලාවෙම. නමුත් දැන් daughter නේ සනිප නැත්තේ. එයානේ sick. හරිද? නමුත් අම්මාගේ mind එක ඕන වෙලාවක sick නේ. අම්මගේ mind එක ඕන වෙලාවක sick. එතකොට අම්මට මුකුත් ඒ දරුවා වෙනුවෙන් කාන්න බෑ. මුකුත් කාන්න බෑ ඕන. ડોක්ටර් ළඟට ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන්. මොන හරි එහෙම නැත්තම් වෙන මොන හරි දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ ඇරෙනකොට එයාට සික් කියලා අම්මා සික් වුණාම හරියන්නේ නැහැ. තේරුණාද? එතකොට මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ? හැම වෙලාවම අම්මා inside අම්මගේ feelings තියෙනෝනේ. loving kindness. හැම වෙලාවෙම. මොන හරි දුන්නත් කණ්ඩ සුවපත් වේවා. මෙයා සුවපත් වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම කියලා අම්මගේ හිතේ තියෙනවා. අම්මා always මේ mind එකේ තියනවා නම් අයියෝ. ඒතකොට හැම වෙලාවෙම අම්මා sad නේ. හැම වෙලාවෙම sadness නේ. එයා ඉන්නේ. එතකොට ඒකද හරි. එමෙ නැත්තම් හැම කෙනාටම ලෙඩ හැදෙනවනේ. නේ? ලෙඩ හැදෙනවා හැම කෙනාට. එතකොට අම්මා හිතනෝනේ එහෙනම් මේක හැම කෙනාටම ඉතින් මේ ලෙඩ හැදෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක කෙරෙහි දුක් වෙලා අපි වැඩක් නැහනේ. දුක අරගෙන වැඩක් නැහැ. නමුත් අම්මා අරයව අරගත්තා. ඇතුලේ තියාගෙන හැම වෙලාවෙම feelings හොඳ නැහැ. එයා ආන්දන අන්තිමට එයා sick. ආව මගේ ළඟට. අරියා කිව්වා මොකද්ද මේකට කරන්න කියලා. මං කිව්වා let's go කරන්න. දුව මෙතනින් අතාරින්න. එයාට බේත් තරවම දෙන්න ඇතුලෙන් තියාගන්න එපා. ඇතුලේ mind එකේ තියාගන්න එපා කියලා. Was that understand? Then Mama
No, what she said is there was a lady came, her small daughter was very sick, she had asthmatic, but she's thinking too much on that asthmatic daughter, but what her advice was, you have to do whatever the treatment, take it to doctor and do whatever the treatment, but do not take that back into your mind, like, you know, so you always have to not giving up. It's like you have to do the work, but still you should not, worry about that. If you think all this in sankhara, the Pali word is sankhara. Sankhara means like you always thinking or editing. The sanskarane Sinhala word is like editing. You just, when you have a problem, you just create in your inside and you just keep on doing that, then it makes you calm also. Yeah, that's the bad thing. Even I am doing that. It's very hard to get rid of. So that's the bad thing in Buddhism. You have to get rid of that. Even if you are doing anything, if you are thinking any joyful incident, say you have seen something, you have something, that's also bad. So you enjoy and you shouldn't have to do always in your mind. It's like, you are either dragging into future or the past. You are not living in the present moment. It's bad here. So even I think your exam problem, whatever, you you have to sort out and you should not worry about
Past.
past. Yeah, that's it.
No, was that answer to no? Was she saying that not to take things too personally, to distance yourself from?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Mm. So that I was thinking man දැන් මම දැන් අපි meditate කරනකොට දැන් අපි ඒ වෙලාවේ like අපි ආනාපාන සතිය ඉන්නවනේ එතකොට අපි not in the past not in future. එතකොට අපි ආනාපාන කරනකොට එතනින් අපිට හොඳ කුසල කර්මයකට ඇති වෙන්නේ. That's a good point. I realized recently. So when you concentrate on your breathing, like you don't do any bad karma. So because if you think anything, either you have either attachment or hatred. So that's where your mind thoughts are dragging. So that's a bad karma. Like if you are dragging back to that's why you are sankara mavanati and creating sankara.
I want to know, I'm just interested, does anyone have like silly doubts? Because I have silly, like really.
Yeah, like all the time.
Like, well, mine is like, for some reason, every time I have to read something or like do, like learn, like read something for an assignment or like tutorial work or whatever, I'm just like, it's really silly, but I question my ability to read or like understand it. I'm
Right.
like,
What if I couldn't read this?
or I'm
Or
just
what
like,
if he doesn't understand the concepts for that lesson or something like that? Yeah.
there's always like something in the back of my mind saying like, oh, like you can't read, like, or I don't know how to explain it. And like there's always like a certain amount of uncertainty. Like it's only like I have to kind of actually prove myself that I can actually read it by sitting down and doing it, and then
You
like
mean actually the words itself? You can't read them? Like that's what
I know I
doubts-
can read, but like
As in, like, do you think like that doubt is
I get
like
stressed.
pertaining to
Like
the
there's a
words
like
or the thing?
preliminary stress that arises in like
Just like attempting
Not-
to read it.
yeah.
And then
Like the tension between like in actually in attempting to read it, the difference between attempting to read it and actually getting to the point of being reading it,
Yeah.
flowing through it smoothly. But that's just one of mine. Does anyone else have any other?
well, mine's the same, just not with reading. Just,
What other ones do you have?
I have the spelling one where you always look at things and you go, that look right. And like they're
Your
simple
face will
words,
come
and they're
right.
like with like 4-letter
Yeah,
words. It's
that's
like,
when you get mine to spell check everything you write.
Oh,
One.
Human spell check.
Or like things that I like know that I know, and like when I talk to someone in a conversation that I always doubt, like
Oh,
like
really?
just like facts of information, like talking about a subject or like the capital of the country, and like I know it, and then like just because I'm like almost have to kind of on that spot to kind of like
Provide
engage
the
with
answer.
that person and kind of almost prove myself that it just wipes off my memory almost, like it's really
I get that. What were you gonna say? Oh, your dad. That's good.
Look, that glasses.
You guys want to?
Wow.
ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ දැන් එයාලට මෙහෙම ඉන්නාද දැන් ඔය කියවන ඒවා spelling ඒවා ගැන පොඩි like if they have any
Again, yeah.
it's just trivial things like things that you shouldn't doubt, but like just
you're like
Just
just
keep-
really insecure about things, like really small things.
අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කරන දේවල් පොතක් කියවනවා හරි මොනවද ලියනවා හරි ටයිප් කරනවා හරි ඒ කියන්නේ small doubts.
ඔව් ඒව ගැන එන සැකය දැන් මොනහරි මේගොල්ලෝ දැන් රචනාවක් ලියනවා නැත්නම් මෙයාලා මේ අකුරු වැරදිද කියලා spelling එහෙම එන සැකයෙන් වැරද්දක්
නෑ,
සිද්ධ
ඒක
වෙනවා. No, I think it's nothing
ඒ
wrong
කියන්නේ අපි
with that.
දන්නවා අපි.
Yeah.
හැබැයි තියෙනවනේ අර
අපි මේක හරිද දන්නේ නැහැ මේක ලිව්වා කියලා.
Oh, yeah.
ඉතින් ඒකේ ඇවිල්ලා ඒක එතන අකුසලයක් එන්නේ
Nah,
පිරෙන්නේ
nah,
නැහැ.
it's not bad.
But-
It's to make sure.
like sometimes I think the reason that those doubts exist is that previous times in the past, sometimes those doubts have kind of like overwhelmed you, and you have done something, you have like written like a whole essay, and it just didn't make any sense. I've done that.
all the time.
දැන් මෙහෙම අවමන සැකේ හොඳ නෑ දැන් අපි මොන හරි ලියලා තියලා ගියොත් දැන් අපි හිතනවා දැන් කවුරු මේක අරගෙන යයිද අහවලා අරගෙන යයිද කියලා හිතුවොත් අකුසලයක් තියෙනවා. දැන් අපි ලියලා තියලා යනවා මොසහන assignment එක මොන හරි ලියලා තියෙනවනේ. මොන හරි එයා හිතනවා දැන් එළියපු එකන හිතනවා කවුරු මේ අහවලා අරගෙන යයිද කියලා. එයාගේ එක ආවොත් අකුසලයක් වෙනවා. ඒක අකුසලයක්මයි.
ඒක වැරද්දක් විදිහට
ගන්නවනේ අහවලා අරයි යයිද කියලා. එතකොට එයාට අග්ගාලා අරයාව සැක කරනවා. එහෙම සැකේ හොද නැහැ. නිකන් හිත ඇතුලේ එහෙම මම මේක ලිව්වා හරි නැද්ද? හරිද කියන සැකේ ඒක එතන නිකන්.
No, what she says, unless you are, suspicious of someone, it's not a problem. Like, you can always doubt, like you like double checking your work, isn't it? But you say like you spelling or the doubts on your own
It's
work.
not like
Again,
it's not like that. No.
Like trivial doubts.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
if you read,
Doubt of self-ability.
yeah. So
No.
it's like what Dinuka said. You're reading something,
Yeah.
and then you think, what if I can't read? Is it?
Oh yeah.
But you know you can read.
Mm.
It's just there's a doubt in the back of your head. Just what if? So you know you can read, but the doubt is it's contradictory, but it's there.
I see.
Just doubting your own ability, I think. Your own, yeah.
For what? Why he's thinking like that? For what reason?
Because I think there's been times in the past where like I just completely failed at something, and then there's like it's kind of like
You leave
the,
that confidence.
එතන චුට්ටක් තමන් ගැන තමන් හිතනවා නම් ඒක තණ්හා වෙනවා.
තමුන් ගැන තමුන් මේ අව탁සිය.
අව탁සිය.
You are underestimating your ability. Or you
Or you
just-
don't have confidence.
Yeah, දැන් එයා තමුන්ගේ ආත්ම විශ්වාසය
නැතුව නේද? එතකොට එනකොට හිත හැම වෙලාවෙම දුර්වලයි. අදර්වයටපත් වෙන. ධෛර්යයක් නැත යනවා. ඒකට වීර්යය ඕනේ නේ.
Yeah, I think it's sort of some sort of your self-confidence, lack of that. Oh, yeah.
Again, lacking නෙමෙයි ඒක තියෙනවා. හැබැයි
no, I
අපිට
know what he
හිතෙන්නේ-
means. He's right. Like so, yeah.
Like if you are double check your work or you are doubtful of your ability, it's sort of lack of your self-confidence.
I think so. Because like even I don't know if you guys are like sometimes like even in a test or something like this, a simple addition or like equation, and you've done it. Or in accounting when I have to balance something, and then like I do it, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I added them correctly, and I do it like 3 times, and it just wastes like so much time. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Even when you close the door, you are not sure whether you come back and check whether you properly close the door.
yeah.
But we do it also that. කියන්නේ දැන් අපි දොර වහලාද කියලා ආයේ සැකයෙන් ඇවිල්ලා බලලා ආයෙ කරනවානේ. I think ඒවා ඉච්චර ලොකු නෑ. I don't.
ඒක ඇවිල්ලා ඒ හරියට ඒ වෙලාවේ මේ මොමන්ට් එකේ awareness අපිට නැති නිසා. සිහිය හොඳට නැති නිසා.
Oh yeah.
හැම මොහොතකම සිහිය ඕනේ.
Oh.
සිහිය තමයි බසින්නේ.
I think that is a very important thing. I don't know if you guys can practice to live at present, like in a present moment, like the mindfulness. It's a really good thing to in your age if you can practice that. It's some sort of meditation, really, like day-to-day living meditation.
I think like it's just like somewhere in the past something's happened, and then you use that as a basis for everything to say that I can't do this, even though like all the evidence, recent evidence suggests you can't. Like there's like a million times more evidence to suggest you can do it, and there's just like 1 or 2 events that suggest you can't. But that event,
You focus on the negative.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's human nature to focus on the negative.
Yeah, the negative attitude දැන් අපි අර යමක් බෑ කියලා හිතන පැතිය නේද?
ඒක ඇවිල්ලා කම්මැලිකම.
ඔව්.
කම්මැලිකම.
නෑ like that වීරිය තියෙන්න ඕනේ.
වීර්ය ගොඩ ඕනේ. හැම එකටම ඕනේනේ. දැන් අපි නින්දට ආසයි. එතකොට අපිට නැකිට පාඩම් ගන්න කැමති නෑ. ඒතකොට නින්දට කැමති වුණාම අපි නින්දට කැමති වුණාම දැන් මොකද වෙලාවට නිදිය ගන්න උදේට දැන් සීතලයි. තව ටිකක් නිදිය ගන්නවා තව ටිකක් බෑ කියලා. එහෙම කම්මැලිකම හොඳ නෑනේ. කම්මැලි වෙන්න හොඳ නෑ. හැම වෙලාවෙම හොඳට මේ කියන්නේ වීර්යය ඕනේ.
ඔව් වීරියනේ. අර පංච බල you know that the five මොකද්ද පංචේන්ද්‍රයේද පංච බලද කියන්නේ වීර්ය සති සමාධි
දෙකම තියෙනවා. පංචේන්ද්‍රිය කියලා කියන්නේ සද්ධා ඉන්ද්‍රිය, සති ඉන්ද්‍රිය, සමාධි, වීර්ය, ප්‍රඥා ඉන්ද්‍රිය. බල ධර්ම සද්ධා බල, සති බල, සමාධි, ප්‍රඥා, වීර්ය බල. ඒ 10ක් තියෙනවා. ඒක අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම මයින්ඩ් එකේ ඩෙවලොප් කරගන්න ඕනේ.
ඒක දන්නවනේ මන්ද you can explain.
In English, I can explain what was
That's sati samadhi prajna.
Sati means awareness, samadhi concentration, අනිත් එක
ප්‍රඥා කියන්නේ wisdom. අනික සද්දා
වීර්ය
කියන්නේ
initiative, motivation,
ඈ what do you call
the
it?
drive to do something.
Yeah, try to do something. What do you call that?
It's like the so like the drive to do
Drive, yeah, your drive, yeah.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation, yeah. I mean, those five has to be there for to follow Buddhism to anything. The Buddha says always, then it becomes your strength. I think the prajna is the most important thing, which balance.
What is
Prajna, panya, you say the panya?
wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah.
But like, what if, I don't know, you kind of, because you're so frustrated and, tired and everything, you just have no more motivation. Like, it's a bit,
Yeah.
like, to keep on trying. Like, it's hard to just distance yourself from it and, like, just focus in the present because it's, like, too much.
Yeah.
Depends what it is. Sometimes I find it's just better to walk away and come back.
Yeah.
Like,
That's really hard to do sometimes.
Especially when you're obsessive about it. Like,
Have you, like, you do an assignment and you're just not getting anywhere?
yeah.
And the best thing to do is just to walk away from it.
Then
And then come back the
away
next
and,
day
like,
where you just
watch
keep
TV.
going and you just
So what
get...
if it's due the next day?
ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ දැන් කරනකොට දැන් එපා වෙනවනේ එපා වෙනවා කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ මොනවාද assignment essays ලියනකොට like කරගෙන යනකොට එපා වෙනවනේ but then you have to stop පොඩි කාලයක් නවත්තලා ආයේ
ඉතින් නැති වුණොත් දැන් මේක ස්ටඩි කරද්දී කොහොමද කරන්නේ?
නේ
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ජොබ් එකක් කරලා ස්ටඩි කරන්න.
even Buddha said like
ඒ පීරියඩ් එකේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට කම්මැලි වුණාට ඊළඟ පීරියඩ් එකේ ඒගොල්ලන් කාන්නේ.
It's not really a matter of laziness, it's a matter of
tired
insanity. No, yeah, seriously, like, you lose your sanity, you just keep trying to do it. Like,
Yeah.
you can change
Yeah, I
yourself.
wouldn't call it
You really did.
laziness.
It's not laziness, it's
It's
just like...
because, like, you've been, like, working, like, hard, putting, like, as much as you can into something, and you just become, like, tired. And,
because you have the expectation if you work hard, you'll get somewhere or achieve some sort of result.
yeah.
And when you don't, then
I think it's like the difference between like how you expect something to be and how you do it. Like maybe like if you write an essay or something, like you might might have these expectations to write like something equivalent of like a doctorate or something. But then like all you can do is like second year level, that's your level. Or, but
What if you just lowered your expectations? Then,
yeah, that's
like, you don't have to write a doctorate. You can just write a.
yeah, that's yeah, but that's the thing. It's really hard to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's the right answer. Just
The
like-
doing it.
I think like
Yeah, like, it does, even if you, like, yeah, you set your standards low and you, like, achieve it, you don't get that full sense of gratitude and completion.
it's
So
a
you
pre
still
like
feel a bit empty. And
How would
it's
you
kind
know
of
that?
like it's kind of
I
like
used to be exactly this. Like, I used to have my, like, design side of exercise. I had these grand ideas, and then if it didn't come out, I'd finish it. It's not like I wanted it. I wouldn't hand it in sometimes. I'd rather fail than hand something in that I wasn't happy with. And sometimes, yeah.
Isn't that a bit of being
But
too
that-
perfectionist?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
always,
is.
yeah.
But that's what you
We're
guys
talking
are.
about insanity here.
Yeah,
Confusing the
but
ballpark.
like there've been several times where I've done assignments where I've not been happy with it. But you get to a point where you know how like if you do some subject and everyone's getting different answers and you like every time you get it, you find someone has a new concept, you factor that in, you revise what you've written. But then it comes to a point where you're like, oh my God, this could go on forever. I'm just going to hand in what I've done. And like, you know, it could be better. Like I could perfect it to 100%, based on what it is now. But like, after just doing it for so like all the time, and you just get sick of it, and you just want to get rid of it.
Yeah. You can't have වැඩක් කරගෙන යනකොට මෙහෙම නෑස දැන් ඒක කරලා එපා වෙනවා වගේනේ ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මම හිතන්නේ සමහර වෙලාවට ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒකම just එහෙමම ඒ සංකල්ප වගේ අතහැරලා යනවා like දීපු තරම දෙනවා වගේ ඉතින් but මම හිතන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒක ටිකක් very plan cut නේද කියන්නේ ඉතින් මේ වීරිය කියන එක තමයි
වීරිය මැදිකම තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේකයි දැන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට යම් දෙයක් පටන් ගන්න ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්නේ. ඔය මේක කරනවා කියලා. මගේ යනකොට ඒක කඩලා දැම්මම ආයෙත් වෙන එකක් ස්ටාර්ට් කරගෙන යනවා. ඒක එකක්වත් හරියට කරන්නේ නැහැ.
I think you have to develop some sort of
I think
drive here.
I think like we have an idea of perfectionism, and like it's almost unattainable, and like trying to obtain it get a lot of stress and a lot of like it's wears away your sanity sometimes because
I don't understand if you know that it's unattainable, then maybe that's the insanity because you know that it's unattainable, right?
But
Haven't
sometimes,
you just wanted to do something and do it really well?
yeah.
Is that like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and what happens if it doesn't come up to your
Your
expectations,
standard
What-
that you
what's your-
set initially before you undertook the task.
it's a cause of stress.
Yeah.
But it's not like I would set it's not like I would set them incredibly high that I can't achieve them.
It's not that you
Right.
can't achieve it. I mean, it takes a lot of work to achieve, I guess. Or you think you can.
It's not realistic.
What if
So
you,
then it's within
yeah.
your capacity to achieve them. It's just you don't.
The idea that
Actually.
like what's realistic you kind of inflate
Yeah.
because of ego. What is realistic? What you think is realistic? And like it's a matter
It's
of
all
ego.
relative.
It's a matter of ego
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
predisposition. Like
Yeah. Because what you think you're capable of, like in the long term, because you're not actually thinking about how much work you're going to be putting in at that point in time.
You're thinking about how good it'll look at the end,
Yeah.
how people will perceive it,
and how
it'll demonstrate how good your abilities are.
to be consistent with the idea of what your heightened sense of yourself.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That happened to me, but then I didn't follow through with it. But I know what you're talking about. Like you have these grand expectations of what it looked like, and then
I think it's not like for me, it's not a matter of what the final product is. It's just what the final product would be a reflection on me. Like, so what
You want something that will demonstrate, the insight. This demonstrates the full extent of my abilities. But if you hand something that's sort of not that good, you say like, listen, it doesn't show how good I could have been, or am.
But when you were saying you didn't hand models in that you weren't happy with, so you'd rather repeat the subject than hand something in and get like 60% compared to.
Yeah, I would have rather redone it and shown what I really could do than do something that shows people only sort of half of what I thought I could do.
Do you get this?
But a
It's like-
subject is like an entire 6 months.
Yeah.
So you would undertake going through 6
No,
months.
it wouldn't be the whole subject. It'd be like an
It'll
assessment.
be like a cup.
An assessment in a subject. Yeah.
You know what's weird when like you get? I think it's the worst part when you get like halfway through something and you realize, oh, maybe I should have like gone another direction when I started, and that would have produced a better result. You perceive so, but like you can't bring yourself to go back to the start all over again. So you just keep going.
But you're demotivated the whole rest of the way.
Yeah. It's kind of like the best thing to do would be just to scrap it and start again. But you're like, nah, I can't do
Like
that.
all that wasted effort and time.
I did that with a business lawyer thing. Like I got halfway and I got someone to read it. It's like, are you actually answering the question? And I'm like, I read it over again. It's like, oh, no. So instead of going back to this, like, just trying to answer the question from where I left off instead of going back and doing it.
ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ ඉන්න දැන් භාගයක් වගේ කරගෙන
කරගෙන
ගිහිල්ලා then
ආපහු ඉතින් ඒක
ඒගොල්ලෝ
කරන්න
බලනවා මේක දැන් මෙයාලා භාගෙට ලියුවාම මේක උත්තරේ හරිද වැරදිද වැඩේ කෙරිලාද කියලා. ඒක මම හිතන්නේ ඒක හරි නේද?
එහෙම බලන්න ඕනේ. අපි දැන ගමන් නැත්නම් ඉතින් කරන දේ හරියට කරන්න එපා. කරන එක හරියට කරන්න. භාගෙට නතර කරන එක නම් පාඩුයි. ඒ ඉතින් කාලෙත් ඔක්කොම යනවානේ.
And what she says, even in the Buddhism way, if you think, so you have to go halfway and analyze if it is wrong, you have to do it correctly, isn't it? That's what ultimately. So you have to do it perfectly. Yeah.
නැත්නම් එකක්වත් හරියට කරන්න බැරි වුණොත් ඉතින් ඒක අපරාධෙ නේ. ඒ කරන දේ හරියට කරන්න. දෙක සැරයක් තුන් සැරයක් එක සැරයක්.
වෙලාව ගියත්
කරන්න ඕනේ එකම දේ නැවත නැවත.
Take breaks is the bad when you're working on something that means a lot to you. So just reflect momentarily.
Then meditation වලත් බහුලීකතෝ කියන එක නේද? නිතර
භාවිතා බහුලීක.
භාවිතා like.
ඒ කියන්නේ හැම වෙලාවෙම දැන් අපි දැන් පත්‍රයක් අරගෙන අපි කියවනවා අපිට තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අපි තව කාගෙන් හරි මේක අහගන්නවා. ඒ වගේ තියෙනවා.
It's in breathing meditation is called bhavita bahulikato kata. You can like bhavita means in Sinhala word, so you use it. Bahulikata means you again do it, like you keep on practicing, then you become an expert in that. Like you have to do always. That's what meditate anything, then you become expertise in that area. That's what. Because that's how your brain or the mind works, if you are keep on doing something, you will be very talented in that one, isn't it? Even you
brain එකයි mind එකයි thought එකයි දැන් තුන එකතු වෙලානේ දැන් මේ වැඩේ කරන්නේ. ඕන වෙලාවක අපි ඒක සාකච්ඡා කරනවා.
Any question? Any more questions?
Is it wrong to have really low expectations?
Yeah,
Of someone or of yourself?
I'm just starting to doubt himself.
Of my low expectations.
දැන් කියන්නේ පල්ලහැ දැන් තමුන්ගේ දැන් ලොකුවට බලාපොරොත්තු නැතුව සාමාන්‍ය තියාගන්න එක වැරදිද කියන
නෑ ඒක. Really right ඒක. ලොකුවට තියෙනවා හම්බුනේ නැතුණාම sad නේ.
In your what you in studies or in general life? Or
Any life.
Yes,
Come on.
500 days of summer. If that guy had lower expectations, he wouldn't have gone through all of that.
If you had lower expectations, you would have had me all your assignments.
Yeah. True. But then
And then you wouldn't have
they
had
wouldn't
to
have been as
repeat.
good.
Huh?
They wouldn't have been as good. They wouldn't have shown what I could do.
But is that what shows up on your academic transcript? Didn't hand it
It's
in
all up
because-
here that matters, all right?
Did
As long as I've
did you
shown
still
everyone
pass
else.
with honours?
No, I didn't pass with honours.
Yeah, that really shows you're
ඒ
really
කියන්නේ දැන් අර බලාපොරොත්තු exam වල එහෙම but I think you have to set for a realistic target, isn't it? It's not you go for low or just pass or something, but you have to set your goal high and keep working on that, isn't it?
again, like if you
Oh, no, you go.
if you set it at a pass
Yeah.
and then you achieve more, isn't that better?
I get this to be translated.
එයා කියන්නේ එයා පාස් එකට විතරක් මේවා කරනවා.
Why not near?
Again, like, it's not me. I'm saying in general.
In general.
If someone was aiming for just a pass, and then if they achieve more than that, isn't that good?
It's like saying I'm aiming for 0, but anything above that is like,
නෑ නෑ ඒ කියන්නේ වැඩි ලොකු ටාගට් එකක් නැතුව සාමාන්‍ය පාස් වගේ එහෙම කරලා දැන් හොඳ රිසල්ට්ස් එකක් ආවොත් හොඳයිනේ. හැබැයි ඉතින් අපි පල්ලහැ ලෙවල් එකක ටාගට් එකක් කරොත් එතකොට වීරිය මදි වගේ නේද? You always
මේකයි ඉතින් කැමති විදියට තමයි ඉතින් කෙරීගෙන යන්නේ නේද? Taman කැමැති විදියටනේ. ඒ වුණාට ඉතින් ඕනම කෙනෙක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවානේ අපි හයි මට ආකට එකක් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. මෙහෙම තිබුණොත් මාක්ස් අපිට මෙහෙම තිබුණොත් අපි බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියෙනවා නැත්තේ නෑනේ. හිතේ ඒ ආවේ නැතුනම ඒක දුකයි. එහෙම නැතුව අපි කමන්නේ පාස් වුණත් නැතත් අපිට මොකක් හරි ජොබ් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඉතින් කමන්නේ. ඒකට මොකුත් නෑනේ හිතේ බලාපොරොත්තු.
Thing is like
බලාපොරොත්තු තමයි හොඳ නැත්තේ.
You like the hopes. You should not keep high hopes, but still, I mean, whether you lose it, whether you do not hit that target, you should not be disappointed. You know, but still, you can set your target to some realistic levels.
like when you always question in the back of your mind like what could have been. If you always
We're not talking about me. I'm saying in general.
I mean, sure, you could get past, you could get by just like doing the minimum.
Yeah.
But like, wouldn't like later, at some later stage in life, you like, what if I just tried to do it harder?
Hang on, but don't you usually say, "Oh, I could have done that if I wanted to. I could have done it if I tried."
Yeah,
Isn't that one of your like key
that's your
sayings?
famous saying for everything.
You always say, "I could have done that." It's not. I'm just saying. Don't you usually say like, "I could have done this if I tried. If I wanted to, I could."
I've not ever said that.
You have.
You have.
Yeah.
I mean, like I would have said it in sarcasm.
No.
How would you?
No, I think you're pretty serious.
Yeah.
I could have done that
Like
if
an
I tried.
intervention from Arjun or something.
What? Like what? Are you talking
ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ
about?
දැන් අර එයාලා උඩ
This is the last
දැන්
time.
විභාගයට දාතනකට මම ඊට වැඩි
Oh,
මට
okay.
කරන්න තිබ්බා වගේ
When,
ඒකට
Ah,
අදහස්
when your
ඒකට
brother was
ඒකට
setting up a
පස්සේ.
party and you were trying to
කරන්න
get
පුළුවන් වෙලා
like,
කෙනෙක්
oh, what
පස්සේ.
if you tried to be like, oh, if I wanted to, I could.
ඒකට මෙහෙමයි වගේ. දැන් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙලා තිබිලා කිරුවේ නැතුව ඔයාට හොඳට එක්සෑම් එක කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවට ඔයා කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා ඊට පස්සේ පසුතැවිලුනොත් ඒක ඒක හොඳ නැහැ. ඒකට හරිම දුකයි නේද මොකද නේ? අයියෝ මට කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙලා මං කෙරුවේ නැහැ කියලා.
That's also bad feeling. Like we just
Again, is that the thought that you
Yeah,
could have done
thought,
better,
yeah.
or is that the? What about actual ability-wise? What if you can do better, but you, say, you can invest a lot of effort into something,
yeah.
but you're aware that you can get by investing
But it's a
a lot
question of,
less effort.
it's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have.
Wait, what?
So it's not like what you're given, it's what you do with what you're given. So like with ability, like okay, ability is like not really abilities. You're given
What if you're
ability.
given the ability to choose what you can, how much you can give?
That's like saying like you're given a lawnmower.
No, I mean like. I mean,
What? I didn't get that.
okay, ability, intelligence. No, you go.
Like you're
Ability
given
is
a
a
lawnmower. Like, you could cut the grass, but
Okay.
it's like it's about how you choose to like cut the grass.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
It's like you got the lawnmower, but like
could
doesn't mean
use
the
it with a
grass doesn't mean the
snipper.
grass is cut.
Yeah.
I
Like-
think what Danuka was trying to say, without the lawnmower analogy, is that like everyone has a certain amount of ability, but it's what you do with it. Like there might be the kid who hasn't got as much natural like intellect, but he works harder than the guy who has natural.
But he
intellect.
might not get as high a mark as
No.
someone with natural intellect who puts.
No,
less of
that's
it.
not issue. It's like the issue is like, all right, people. Unfortunately, everyone doesn't have constant ability. Like people have different varying abilities, but it's not what's really admirable is not the ability that you have, but what you do with the ability.
That's what you do when
No,
you
that's-
what you're
that's
giving
the-
with.
Effort you put it. isn't it?
Yeah, the rate of return on your ability.
It's a accounting.
Counting.
Yeah.
Finance.
කියන්නේ දැන් එයාලා කියන්නේ ability කියන්නේ දැන් හැකියාව තියෙනවා. සමහර මොලේ වගේ ප්‍රඥා. නමුත් ඒක effort එක සමුන් දාන වීර්ය ඒක මදි නම් අරකින් ප්‍රයෝජනයක් ගන්න නැහැ.
ඔව් ඒකයි.
නමුත් ඒක තමයි like it has to be balanced or you නේද like you should ප්‍රඥාව තිබ්බත් like you should have
තිබ්බට ඒක
වීර්ය
වැඩ
also.
ගන්න එපා. ඒකේ වැඩක් කරන්න බෑ. අපි කියමුකෝ දැන් කැපෙන පීයක් තියෙනවා.
Oh,
අපි මොට්ට පීයකින් කපනවා. මේ කැපෙන එකක් තිබිද්දි.
yeah.
එතකොට මොකද?
Yeah.
ඒකට කැපෙන එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒකෙන් කපන්න ඕනේ නේද? අපි ඒක පැත්තකින් තියාගෙන මොට්ට එකෙන් කපනවා.
Like,
අනේ ඔය.
it's more impressive
That
for
was a good analogy.
Yeah.
more
It's
impressive
sharp.
sorry.
No,
Right.
කියන්න මං
Oh, well, if you have it's sort of
Sharp.
like
sharp.
when you cut, like if you have a knife, if you want to cut
Good
something,
knife.
you have two knives. You got a blunt knife and a sharp knife. It's sort of like using the blunt knife to cut something as opposed to the sharp. Like, why would you when you got a sharp knife?
Well, some people have a blunt. Some people are born
only
with a
see
blunt
the
knife.
knife. Like some people don't see the sharp knife there.
The question is like someone. It's more impressive for a kid who's got an IQ of 65 to keep getting C's credits than a kid that's got an IQ of 150 to keep pulling distinctions.
So why should the kid try then? You know, like the kid with 150, there's no point trying if he's like not going to impress anyone with his 150.
But if you're not going to try, then like you don't have drive.
People would take more notice of him who got C's as well.
Yeah, people would take. It's more impressive.
If he got C's as well.
Oh, if the kid with 150.
Yeah.
No.
If he had 150, it's assumed that he should get like a high distinction average. Whereas what you're saying is a kid with a 65% IQ should be like what, pass level or something.
No, I mean it's more like it's more of an effort for him to actually keep getting those C's than the kid that can naturally do it. So it's the argument of like what you do with your natural ability.
Does it really matter in the end though?
What do you mean?
Like, all these tasks just like, you know, they have a beginning and an end, and like you keep progressing through life. So in the grand scheme of things, like this one assignment or whatever, like that's the way sometimes I think about it. It becomes like when you look back on it at the time, it was like the biggest thing ever, but then you know, year forward, you've got something else to worry about. It's like,
yeah, I think what she says is correct. එයා කියන්නේ දැන් පොඩි පොඩි දේවල් නෙවෙයි ඔක අපි ප්‍රෝග්‍රස් වෙන එක ඉදිරියට යන එක තමයි අන්තිමට
හැම වෙලාවෙම හැම එකක්ම පාස් නේ.
ඔව්.
විදිහට. එතකොට මේ මොහොතේ අපි සතුටින් තමයි ඉන්න ඕනේ. කිසි දෙයක් අල්ලන්නේ නැතුව. එතකොට හැම වෙලාවෙම සන්තෝෂෙන් ඉන්න. අපි අල්ලනවා නම් තමයි අපිට දුක එන්නේ.
What she said is here.
But like we're not just talking about science, like just everything in general.
yeah, but don't you think like that something always comes up
straight.
regardless?
What do you mean something comes up?
Like if you're not just talking about assignments, like you're just saying something else.
Yeah,
No, it's just like anything in life you try.
Like life,
Oh yeah.
failing at life.
Yeah, right. I don't know, like you just don't achieve what you thought you could have at one point in time.
Wonder there should be a study of like what age people realize they can't be active.
Isn't that called a midlife crisis?
I'd love to go into a classroom and then like, this is the population of the world, and the population of this is the percentage of people that are astronauts.
You mean if you went into like a
Classroom.
of not just any students, like what if you went into a classroom of aerospace engineers and then you
Don't
said that?
He talked about the general questions. I think that what Manny was in general telling us, you have to shouldn't be attached to anything, like as you do whatever your work studies as it comes and just forget it, like then keep on doing that. You are building up your life skills as per the Buddhism. Those are the things.
But to do the work, you have to be attached in some way, don't you?
No, attached in the
Right.
sense you do the work, like like when that lady had a sick child, she has to still look after the baby, take to the doctor, but by your mind, you should not be attached to that, You should not have to worry about that. Even your work, the assignment or whatever it is. You do as it comes, then just, forget it. That's the way even in your work or anything. That's නේද මෙහෙණින්නාට බුද්ධිසම් එකේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ හැම වෙලාවෙම යන්න ඉදිරියට යන්න කියන මිසක් නවතින්න කියන්නේ.
You should not just bog down in the problem or the assignment or as it comes, and shouldn't think back and worry about that, It's just keep on going what you are doing.
But then when you don't worry about it, like, it's kind of due the next day.
හෙට දවස ගැන
හෙට දවස ගැන දැන් මේ මොමන්ට් එකනේ හිතන්නේ. අපි ඊළඟ මොමන්ට් එකේ අපිට කරගන්න බැරුව අපි සික්ුණා. දැන් කරගන්න බැරුණා. ඒක මොකද වෙන්නේ?
So you shouldn't have to worry about tomorrow until it comes, just when it comes.
If something happens, එතෙන්දී අපි හැමතිස්සෙම worry වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි දැන් හෙට කරන්න තියෙන දේ හොඳයි. අපි හෙට මොනාරි කරන්න. අපිට අද අමාරු වෙනවා. අපිට සනීප නැති වෙනවා. ඒකට කාන්න බැරි වෙනවා. ඒකට තියෙන only sadness විතරයි.
If you are sick, then you cannot do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even I have a lot of work in the office tomorrow. I don't think now. So I do as it comes, Before the lunch, I do any work. After lunch, and I think that's a good practice for day-to-day life also. So you should not be worried. I think that's what called the mindfulness. You live at the present moment. Yeah, you think about your dinner or something now? No.
No.
Or the assignment? No.
I just work in general and stuff. I have a lot of assignments and tests coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't really understand what I'm doing for anything. So, yeah.
Even I think that's a bad practice. Even I have some office work. Earlier I used to worry about those things, but I never worry. When I go to office only, I think the office work. When I come out, just leave it there. Otherwise, you will be in trouble in later stages. Yeah. Even Mehinasa does the same thing. Like that's called Dang Satiya Pihita. That's very important thing. And it increases your efficiency also. If you are doing assignment, if you concentrate onto that, you can do better. But if you're thinking something else and doing that, it never give you a good result. So we're thinking from next week we keep at the Misalarana because the winter season we didn't want Manu to get sick. If you're coming around 5-6 people, slowly you can go to.
They can go.
Neighbor won't.
Then silence neighbor. At that time, Harima worry.
No, you can park the cars outside. Just walk into the temple. Is it a problem or what is?
No.
Yeah? Okay.
Maybalala, is the time?
Is it?
Oh, ඒක තමයි. ඔයා දැන් අලුත් වෙලාවනේ අපි. උනා 6ට ඉන්න.
6ට?
The
6ට කියන්නේ 5ද? කොච්චර?
No. Then ඔයාලගේ දැන් new time.
New time එකකට දෙන්නේ. අද new time.
Yeah. It's
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
එතකොට 9 o'clock නේ? යන්නේ. Right. Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. අපි ඉස්සර කිව්වේ 6ටනේ?
Yeah.
6 and 8 නේ?
But is that so? It's okay. So it's
No,
7,
hold on.
all right with-
Well, work කරනවද like you have in
Well, වැඩ කරනවා නෑ.
7 to 9?
Hey, it's
No, that's all right. Yeah.
Why didn't we change it from 6 to 8 or no?
we changed it to 7 because it's a consistent time with Sangamitha timetable. And also Danbury Hospital.
Did
So-
you guys get that Bodhisattva Mehinasa gave some 2 series? Then
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
isn't it? The mind, Punnaji.
Yeah.
It's really good, those two. Buddhism in general and other one, the mind and yeah.
ගෙනවල පුණ්‍යජී හාමුදුරන්ගේ
දැන් මම හිතන්නේ බෝධිසත්ව මෙහිණාසේ දුන්නා නේද මට. දියර ගෝහන්සේ දුන්නානේ. And there was a book called this Buddhism in Sri Lanka or something.
No, it's
Don't
just
know.
a CD.
So maybe next time
Okay,
we can.
then
We
I-
have a lot of in the temple. Yeah. That's all the Buddhism in Sri Lanka. It's in English. So how Buddhism was protected and preserved in Sri Lanka. That's what it-
හොඳයි.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
අභිවාදන සීලස් නිච්ඡං වද්දා පචායන චත්තාරෝ ධම්ම වද්දන්ති ආයුවන්න සුඛං ආයුරාෝග්‍ය සම්පatti සග්ග සම්පatti නේචාතෝ නිබ්බාන සම්පatti විනාතේ සමිච්ඡතු නිදුක් වේවා නිරෝගී සපත්